Alright, hello everybody. This video is no new material. Staying on track with my last video because I forgot a piece of the story. Oddly enough, it was actually an extremely entertaining part of the story looking back. I don't know exactly how I forgot it or missed it out. Probably because it did not involve sodomy. I wasn't sitting on the bike seat at the time. So what happened was, this is after I gave up on my quest. So I was on the side of the road, like I said, off the bike seat, which was fantastic. I had called for my ride already, using my BlackBerry phone. Perfect product placement situation here. Unfortunately, I'm not getting paid for that. But yeah. So anyways, I'm sitting on the side of the road. About 20 feet off the side of the road, on kind of a grassy knoll. There's a hill on the other side of the ditch, and my bike was in the ditch, also safely off the road, as I was waiting for my ride, on the corner of an on-ramp, beside an on-ramp. There's behind me, there's cows, kind of smelly and noisy, but not too bad. So I'm sitting there waiting. About 10 minutes after I called for a ride, the sun was starting to set, and the weather was still pretty good, but I was sweaty, so kind of wet, and no longer pedaling and exhausting myself. So I started to get a little chilly, cold, feel the weather. So I was digging through my bag for I was putting my pant legs on. I had already taken my helmet off and strapped it to my backpack, and I was in the process of pulling my sweater out of my backpack when an ambulance drove up and parked on the side of the road directly in front of me. I shouldn't have really been as surprised as I was, since a few years ago a very good friend of mine rode his bicycle from Kelowna, BC to Vancouver, BC, which is about 500 kilometers or about 300 miles. And the exact same thing happened to him. Somebody called driving by on the highway thinking that I might have been injured. So this response team came in case I was injured to check up on me and see if I was alright, which was actually, I mean, I'm grateful that somebody would worry enough or care enough to do that. But at the same time, I felt bad because these are important people and they could have been doing something important rather than checking on me, whose only problem was I sat on a bike too long. So I'm talking to them and explaining what happened and why I'm actually okay and they don't need to be there. And another ambulance drove up. So I kind of felt a little important. Obviously, they were trying to get to me as soon as possible and just sent everybody, kind of deal. But they weren't needed. So the first team sent the other team away. They were dealing with the false alert. So as the second crew of ambulance is leaving, a police car comes up. This is a state trooper who arrived for the emergency response as well. And he needed information, I guess, just to know what was going on. They were very nice about this. They weren't bothered at all that this was false. I felt terrible. As I said, I felt very important, but I felt terrible because I felt like I was wasting their time. And I should have been more obvious that I was okay. I mean, I guess playing with my BlackBerry, playing Block Breaker, wasn't obvious enough that I was okay. But yeah, so I felt kind of bad, but they were very, very nice, very professional, very courteous and kind and helpful. Directed me to a gas station about half a block away, where I could rest and be warm while I waited, where people wouldn't think that I was hurt and send help. So I have to give a props up to the Washington State Emergency Patrol, emergency response, because they're very nice. Ironically, exactly the kind of response you would an American would expect from Canadians typically, in movies and TV anyways. You know, there's the whole rap that we have of being nice and courteous, and the opposite for Americans. And it's really not true. There's some very nice people. So anyways, I thought I would share that story with you because I somehow forgot it in my last video. So if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel, please. Join me on this journey. I'm searching to find what my channel will be about, what I'll be consistently talking about, if I ever find anything to consistently talk about. But I promise more entertaining, more fulfilling material in the future. Some guest appearances, some guests or future stars, and yeah, some more entertaining material. I hope to amuse you, to perhaps enlighten you, and I hope you all enjoy this. Thank you very much.